What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? You are in the building with the Life Gain Avengers of Current Culture. It's me. It's that living legend, Larry, and it's the Hall of Famer T Streams. Fellas, how y'all feeling today?
What's good, man? Whew.
Man, I'm feeling good. I've been seeing all over the internet that our mans and them is coming back to Black Panther 2, the rightful ruler of Wakanda.
Ladies and gentlemen, Larry has already set the tone. This is pretty much going to be an all Marvel night event. We've got news with Killmonger coming back. We've got news with Chris Evans coming back. We've got news with the guy that played Daredevil. He's going to be in the next Spider-Man movie. And of course, Larry has seen WandaVision. Me and T-Streams haven't, but he's going to give us his review to intrigue us so we can get on our business and check it out this weekend. We've got that. We've got a little bit of stock news we want to update you guys on. But first things first, Larry, WandaVision. Marvel has seemingly set up 2021 to be the year that they come back with a vengeance. They basically took off 2020, and there's a lot of buzz with Marvel with everything we just announced in the beginning of this video. So tell us, Larry, from A to B, give us the skinny on WandaVision.
Well, I will say this: if there's going to be a lot of hardcore Marvel fanboy types that are going to be sorely disappointed and hate it. And there's also going to be a lot of people out there that just really, really love it. So I don't think there's going to be much middle ground on this one. I think it's going to be either you love it or you hate it. I think it's going to be one or the other.
Okay, well, Larry, you're not giving us a whole lot, man. Well, okay, well, what is it that we're gonna hate? What is it that we're gonna love? Give us some details, my brother. Do I have to be Leslie Stahl, Anderson Cooper, all rolled up into one? Give us the details, my brother.
So it's a definitely a very fun show. It's a comedy. It's very silly. It's sort of got that sort of that old school slapstick sort of element to it. It's very much set up and shot like it is like it's a 1960s or 70s sitcom, you know, sort of like a one-room sitcom, really like a two-room, because you have like the living room and then the kitchen. They do go outside a little bit in some different scenes, but it's very much like a traditional sitcom with laugh tracks and the way they shoot it, the cheesy one-liners, the whole thing, you know, the goofy neighbor that comes over, barges in, and all the little antics and jokes. It's very, very much like a traditional like 60s, 70s sitcom, and it's absolutely hilarious. It's funny. Both of them, both Wanda and Vision, are really, really funny. We get to see where it's set up, where Wanda is a housewife. Vision is going to work. He works at some company that he has no idea what they do, what they make, what they produce, what their purpose is at all. And he's asking, what do we do? What do we produce? No one seems to know. And then he ends up getting a promotion. So, but they are sort of like fumbling through some of the comedies, them fumbling through trying to be human and be normal, everyday people. So, you know, so you have them trying to figure out how to pretend like they're a husband and wife, where they never even got their stories together about when they got married and where they got married. And they're like, you know, everyone has sort of their story of how they met and fell in love. And they're trying to figure all this out because they didn't really even think, oh, someone's going to ask us this. And so, you know, just some of the small things that you would think most people know how to do, like maybe cook a dinner for a friend if they're coming over for a dinner party. They have no idea about this stuff. And so it's just, a lot of it is just really ridiculous hilarity that comes into it. It is a lot of fun, and a lot of people will think it's probably super cheesy. And that cheesy factor is what makes it a lot of fun. So
let me ask you this, Larry. What was the premise of the first episode?
The premise of the first episode really was them sort of getting set up in the new house and them moving in and meeting their neighbors, and we get to see where Vision works, and then they have him come over. That we have in the sort of episode sort of culminates with Vision's boss and his wife coming over for a dinner party. Okay. And so we get to see Wanda sort of stumbling through, trying to put together a dinner party at the last minute, and a neighbor coming over, and the neighbor's there trying to help out. And it's that's sort of it. That's sort of the premise there. It's sort of like the first episode's really sort of a setup episode to give you an idea of what the sort of look and feel of the show is going to be like. But at the same time, there is this sort of, not to spoil it, because it's not like it reveals anything so much, but there's like this voice that's saying, Wanda, who's doing this to you? Who's doing this to you? Wanda. And you get the idea that all of this that's happening in this show is sort of an illusion or a trick that's being played on her, and she's sort of lost in her own mind. And there's something,
I was going to ask you, what's the tie-in from the cinematic universe to how they got to where they're at now? Because Vision is dead, technically. So basically what you're telling me is the tie-in. And remember, fellas, the rumor is Wanda is going to be a big character in the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness movie. And if you're hearing a voice, she could be, like you said, there could be some menagerie going on with her psyche. And that's going to tie into Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. So that's maybe the voice that you're hearing is the tie-in. And by the time we get to the movie or the end of this series, we'll figure out what's going on.
Yeah, that's what I think it seems like it's going to be. So, and they don't necessarily seem like they're trying to hide that element of it at all. So I think that the surprise is probably going to be more so of who's doing it to her and where she is, more so than it's actually happening. They're kind of letting us know right up front that this is happening to her and this is sort of a dream. But I think it's the other parts of it about where she is, who's doing this, and why, and all that stuff is going to be where the sort of surprise element of this whole sort of dreamscape that she's in is going to come into play.
Okay, man. As a fan, T-Streams, I love being able to ask these probing questions of Larry, the thespian expert. He knows about these things. So Larry, for people that want to know about their powers, did they display any of their powers in the first episode?
They did. They're using their powers. They're using their powers throughout the entire 2 episodes that I've seen. They're using their powers, but not in the traditional way that you would think. They're using them for much more practical reasons. Okay. And so like there's one scene in the first episode where the boss who comes over for work starts choking at dinner, and he's choking and his wife is up there just sort of smiling and laughing, saying, stop it. And she was talking to her husband, telling him to stop it because she thought, I guess maybe at first he was joking or something. And she's just saying, stop it. And she's sort of stuck in this loop. And that's when you kind of realize something's wrong, because she's got this just blank smile on her face. She's stuck there just saying, stop it. And finally in that moment, Wanda sort of breaks character and tells Vision, says, Vision, save him. Do something. And so then we see in that moment where the boss is laying on the floor choking to death, Vision goes over to him, reaches in through his throat and pulls out the piece of food and saves his life. And so
stuck his hand in his mouth.
No, he stuck his hand through his throat, because
he can
Vision can go through stuff.
Yeah.
So he just stuck his hand through his throat, grabbed the piece of food and pulled it out.
Okay, so wait a minute, Larry. Now I'm gonna have to nitpick the way Larry does, y'all. I'm sorry, I got nitpick. So you mean to tell me Vision went in there, didn't break no bones? He went translucent. Okay, I can get that. But on the way out, in order to grab that piece, he's gonna have to go back into 3D. You can't be in there translucent and get the piece out. So he didn't tear up nothing getting the piece out, Larry. Marvel, what the hell are you doing? That's not realistic. Stop it. And I am a pure fanboy. Marvel hats and all kinds of shit back here. That's not real, but I'm just giving you a hard time. So Larry, overall, so we can get on. How would you rate this first episode of WandaVision? 10 being the best, 0 being pure trash.
I'm gonna give it a solid 8 because I really like I like Wanda. I like Vision. I really like Wanda. I mean, period. She was always one of the characters I really liked in the Marvel universe. And I always felt like they never really truly showed how powerful she is like they do in the comics. And I'm assuming
wait. I gotta stop you. Now we didn't get to this part the other day, but I had clips of me saying and showing you guys how overpowered she was in the MCU. Literally, this chick could have beat Thanos by herself. In the very end, she lifted Thanos up, stripped him of his armor, and I thought she was going to pop his head till he said rain fire. That was a display of her power.
Right.
Then in the very first one, Larry, if you can recall, she was in between Thanos and Vision. She literally was keeping Thanos kind of at bay, and he had all the other stones.
Right. So she's crazy powerful.
She's crazy powerful.
So I mean, for me, when I say 8, it's because maybe it's because of some of the nostalgia that I feel for some of the shows. Like I loved some of those old sitcoms like Bewitched. I think 703 mentioned in the comments, but I loved like Bewitched. I loved I Dream of Jeannie. You know, some of those shows like that, like Wait Till My Father Gets Home, and some of those shows like that were always hilarious, and it's very much in that same vein, like the Jeffersons, even where you have them, you have like where everything happens mostly in one room, and you have the neighbors coming over, and the neighbors are silly, and it's just a lot of fun. That's basically what it is. It's sort of like in the midst of all this crap that's going on in the world, it's sort of like this is a little bucket of fun. Okay. And it's sort of like Disney and Marvel just said, you know what, here, and just dumped a bucket of fun on your head. It's completely ridiculous and silly. And you can start to see there's little elements of it that are going to kick in to be a little bit more serious. You can see where you start to see little bits of like a villain showing up here and there. You start to see some of the changes that are happening that are going to lead into maybe a more darker part of the series. But the first 2 episodes of it are very much sort of silly, fun, goofy, and a good time. And yeah, I like it for that reason.
Cool. Well, fellas, we'll come back to Marvel in a minute. We'll get T-Streams in on this buzz. So another thing, fellas, that is getting ready to drop. And if you haven't seen the cartoon, please go check out Mortal Kombat Legend of Scorpion's Revenge. Fellas, and I think we reviewed this. I don't know if T-Streams was with us, but me and Larry talked about it. This is the most dark, painful. They hold no punches in that cartoon. It is one of the best cartoons I've seen in 5 years. I mean,
that's crazy.
Man, look, I watched it 3 times, fellas. Well, guess what they about to do? They making a movie, Mortal Kombat.
A live action one.
They dropped the first set pieces, and I've got all the action for you fellas. Take a look at this, and T-Stream, the floor is yours first after this.
Movie, and this right here is our first look of Scorpion and Sub-Zero going at it right here. If you look at it from the top, that is Sub-Zero holding down Scorpion, and this seems to be like we're going to be getting the origin story of the feud between Sub-Zero and Scorpion, because right here in this article, they mention that the first 10 minutes is pretty much a bloodbath. What we have written down here, it says, we did a bit of research, and the kuni is actually an ancient Japanese gardening tool. So one of the earliest shots in the movie is kuni blade being used as a gardening tool by Hanzo's wife. life. And that's what he's holding here in his hand, the thing that will eventually become his tool for get over here. But furthermore, reading into it, it says the 10-minute opening sequence kicks off in feudal Japan long before these fighters wield supernatural abilities as Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and it ends in a pretty nasty hand-to-hand combat between the two. You get a look of what he'll look like once he finally gets those supernatural abilities. Now, that giant M on his head is really kind of distracting. Again, my Mortal Kombat's a little rusty right there, but that could just be with the design they chose. They're definitely hiding some stuff here. You can kind of make out his mask. Now, the next photo is probably my favorite because it is one of my more top 5 favorite characters when I play Mortal Kombat, and that right here is Jax. And Major Jax right here already has them damn metal arms. Part of me was scared that for this movie, they were gonna go ahead and also give the origin of how he gets the metal arms, but maybe we're skipping that whole step and we're just jumping into a world where this guy has already got these cybernetic arms and he'll be fighting in this tournament. Now, no word yet on who this person is next to him that he's battling with, but I really am liking the effects on his arm. The CGI work on it is pretty good. Like I said, this is still low budget, so they're probably using their money in the correct spot without spending it on these huge celebrities, but instead going back to the visual effects and everything that we'll be seeing going down here. So this is perfect, and it really does seem like Jax come to life. And you can't have Jax without talking about his partner, Sonya Blade. And one of Sonya Blade's main adversaries that she is fighting with in this photo right here is Kano. Now, Kano is known for some of these scars on his face, but this time around, it looks like they won't be giving him that much of an exaggerated look of a cyborg eye, with him just kind of having the glowing red eye, having a little bit of a Terminator effect, but this guy still seems real gruffled, weathered down, and Sonya just kicking his butt right there. I'm really hoping the dynamic between these characters comes off really good and it's not just cheesy.
Now I'm getting a little excited, but what I really wish they would just do, that I got to put this back on the screen because I still ain't got over it yet. I'm sorry, I still have not got over this cartoon yet. If they need to turn that damn cartoon into a movie, and it don't look like they're going in that direction, T-Stream, but I like where they're going. I do like that they're going to continue to feud. So how do you feel about this Mortal Kombat movie that they're coming out? It's kind of like a reboot.
Yeah, I've sort of been following the buzz for that for a little while now. For those of you that may know, my brother, he's a professional gamer when it comes to Mortal Kombat, doing all the little events and stuff like that. And so he always keeps me up to,
he professional gamer?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. He don't play for money, do he?
I
mean, because look, you're talking to a retired Madden Bus guy who also went to a tournament for DC versus Mortal Kombat and won $1,000. I mean, I can go get my hands warmed up with the Flash if you want to pull out DC versus Mortal Kombat. I mean,
yeah, check him out. He's over there at Straight Clowning Worldwide over on YouTube. He does the fight, all the fighting games and stuff like that.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So I have to be his protector sometimes when he talks too much shit after beating somebody and they want to get gruff. So
but it sounds like you're interested in this movie. You think it's got some good legs?
Yeah, I do, and I honestly I want to lean more towards the I hope so side because, man, as much money as this franchise bring in, we talking about something that's been solid since '92.
92.
Yeah.
T-String, can you remember when you would go to the arcade, play the first one, eat up all your quarters, and then be mad because you can't go play NBA Jam?
Right. And that's exactly how it was. And we talking about a franchise here with a very solid backbone, a tremendously huge following.
Yeah.
So I hope that they put the finances into it. I mean, they don't really need to have like a whole bunch of big budget stars, but I really do hope that they drop some cash in so that it's not looking a little cheesy. Because when you're playing the game, or if you're watching the I'm not going to call it the cartoon, I'm going to call it the animated series or the animated movie. The abilities and the things that these fighters and stuff have is to bring it to live action is going to take a little bit more than our imagination. You gotta come on right when you're trying to replicate Cabal or Sonya Blade or Jax and all these other guys. You gotta come right with it. Is because matter of fact, one of Jack's finishing moves is he pulls your arms off and beats you with them. So
that's he telling the truth, Larry. It's real.
Oh
yeah. So
Larry, and then don't forget about Scorpion. One of his is he pulls his mask off, look at you, and then set you on fire. Whoosh.
Yeah. That's and it has gotten like really, really aggressive. So for those of you who hadn't played Mortal Kombat 11, please just try it. Now for the movie, I'm praying and I'm leaning more towards. I mean, it's 2021. A franchise like Mortal Kombat. I know they are aware of how bad the first one, how bad it was. And so I'm going to assume that Ed Boon and all these guys are going to go ahead and be like, all right, forget that. We're gonna put drop what we need to drop and go ahead and make it right. Because the Scorpion movie did very well, and
damn,
I'm waiting to see it. What's up, Buzz?
I feels you, Buzz. Get over here, Buzz. I feels you with that. So,
get over here.
We appreciate that, Big Buzz. So now, Larry, how are you feeling? Now, keep in mind, there are some core characters that we haven't seen yet. Guru's going to have to be in the movie. Raiden, he's a god. He's going to have to be in the movie. How are you feeling about this Mortal Kombat? And I'm like T-Streams. I hope to God that they got up with the people that did that last animated Scorpion, and they're going to take some insight. But brother, living legend Larry, talk to us.
See, my thing is with this, I just hope that, and I heard them say that it didn't seem like they had the biggest budget. I just hope that they had enough of a budget that they can afford some good special effects, because I don't want to see a Mortal Kombat where someone's entire skeleton does not get kicked outside of their body. I don't want to see a Mortal Kombat where somebody doesn't get zapped with lightning or electricity and you don't see them basically from the inside out,
Larry wants an X-ray. When you get struck by lightning, your ass need to look like an X-ray machine.
Exactly. I mean, I want to see all that craziness, I want to see someone spit venom on someone and they melt. I want to see all the craziness that you see in the games and in the cartoons, and I hope that they can bring that. And, I can understand if they don't do a lot of it, if they have a smaller budget, like if they start off the first part of the movie where they don't have their powers yet and they're just fighting. But by the end of it, I would hope they would at least give us one good scene with really good, solid special effects.
Exactly. I'm with you, Big Larry. And I'm hoping for the same. For the same.
It's not going to man, the way the latest game and the stuff that they've been putting out, after that, with it would be such a disservice to do anything but come correct. Mm-hmm. So if anybody watching from NetherRealm Studios, you guys, you come on with it, because we know you got it.
And look, just take our advice, NetherRealm. If you didn't already talk to the people that did the cartoon, take your ass over there and ask them to help you out, because that cartoon was fire. That cartoon was so good. It ranked in the top 10 best movies of last year, period. Cartoon or not, it is that was a classic. And if you people have not seen this thing right here, by all means, go and take your 75 minutes and watch this. you will be thanking me tomorrow. You might even come back and super chat like Buzz did. And so,
one thing I like about the video game too is that when you're in story mode, even if you suck at the game like I do, and you can't beat it, you can still advance and go to the next part of the story and go to the next fight. You'll just keep losing, but at least you can advance and go to the story, which is kind of cool, because otherwise I would never get through the story because I am 100% garbage at that game.
Man, and that's what made those games fun, because you had it where you could do somebody's story mode, and each one of the characters had their own story mode. They had their own adversaries, what may have you, till you get to the final, and that's till you had to fight Shay Khan, and that's what made the game good. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to leave it there, but I will say this on ending as we switch gears. When I finish blowing up, if they don't make a good Mortal Kombat, you on my list. And then I got some other 80s classics that's on my list that I'm going to be doing myself. Number one, Silverhawks. Number two, Thundercats. And number three, and the most important one, He-Man, damn it. He-Man. I'm tired of y'all canceling He-Man. Or when you get it started, you have a horrible script. Hell, me and Larry can write the script. T-Streams can be the Black He-Man. We can do this shit, man. I'm telling you, we can do this thing. And if I blow up, I'm going after those franchises, and I'm going to bring them to prominence because I'm going to hire the right people. So, having said that, let's go to a studio that is doing the right things, and Larry's going to love this story. And before I even put up the graphic, let me go ahead and give Larry what he wants to see. I'm going to give it to him because, ladies and gentlemen, this is about his boy.
Yeah, go ahead and burn all that.
My king, we cannot do that. It is our tradition.
When I tell you to do something, I mean that shit. Burn it all!
Oh, yeah.
I love her face. What? Wait, what?
Oh, yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Larry blew up my Facebook today to drop this. Michael B. Jordan will be returning in Black Panther 2. Now, let me read to you what they're saying his role is going to be. A multiverse version of Killmonger is possible. They don't know his complete role, but they're saying the multiverse version is possible. With word of Chris Evans returning as Captain America, as well as our previous report on Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield returning as Spider-Man, Marvel is betting big on multiverse characters. Perhaps Jordan returns as Elseworld version of Black Panther from a separate timeline. And that did happen in the timeline, fellas. The most likely scenario is that he didn't fully die. He's also being resurrected in the comics by the Mandarin and even his own followers. Larry, since this is your boy, I give it to you first. Oh, my Lord.
All I have to say is,
oh, here we go.
I told you so.
Golly.
I tell you to do something, you better do this.
I've been saying this since Black Panther was still in the theaters. I've been saying he's not dead, he's coming back. People, nah. I was like, he'll be back. Watch, he will be back. And what the 22? That's how you know 2021 is going to be a better year already, is because we are getting Killmonger back, the true and righteous ruler of Wakanda.
Larry, what was that famous line, Larry? Bury me in the ocean with my ancestors, because they knew death was better than bondage. T-Streams, how do you feel about them bringing Michael B. Jordan back? But don't you feel like they had to fill that void somewhat since T'Challa's not going to be there?
Man, I'm gonna tell you what, man. That when he passed, it put a real big dent in the Black Panther.
It did.
Because now you theoretically really have to start reaching in other directions in order to continue what has started off as a potentially multi-billion-dollar franchise on its own. And I I don't know if you know, I just don't know. I would love to see it. You know, I would love to see it. I'm thinking that dude really should have died, but you know, in those superhero movies, I can put aside common realistic rationale for, you know, for the fiction.
Mhm.
And so, you know, I'm just not sure how that would work, because man, if they do that, jumping timelines and multiverses and all this other kind of stuff, it's going to be a lot of pressure on Mike B, just, you know, just because, you know, of the situation that they're in. You know, I was thinking that they was probably would have leaned more towards the comics and sort of try to swing his sister in there. But you know, either way is fine with me. When it come out, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to give it my full support. And
Well, T Street, they're not saying what they're going to do with
Mhm.
Michael B. Jordan, because I'm still thinking Shuri is probably going to wear the mantle. So it's
Well,
somehow
you know,
he's going to be involved. I just don't know how. So, and there was even talk, and we did the story. All three of us done the story when we found out that the villain is probably going to be not Aquaman, but their version of Namor. There was a lot of chatter saying that he would band together with Wakanda and kind of take the role of being the leader. That's something that one time happened in the comics too, and we all said hell to the no, because at the time we wasn't thinking Chadwick Boseman was going to die. Now, me and Larry kind of had an idea, but we was trying to get a benefit of a doubt. So I still think T-Streams that they're going to make Shuri the rightful ruler of Wakanda. It's just, what are they going to do with Michael B. Jordan, though?
Man, they might have to replace Letitia Wright. There's all kinds of people online calling for her to be replaced, because I think she's like an anti-vaxxer or something. And people are really upset with her.
And not only that, but she's been kind of anti-mask for a little. She had to be shamed into actually wearing the mask, Larry.
Yeah. That's not, I mean, sometimes you just need to like sit down and keep your foolishness to yourself, because you end up getting yourself booted up out of a multi-billion-dollar franchise, you know. So, I mean, it could happen, though. It could end up being where they get rid of her and they bring in Ramona to replace her, and then Shuri and Killmonger.
Oh, my Lord.
There you go. Right there.
Oh, my God.
There you have it right there.
How did we get there, man? Golly.
I'm just saying.
My man.
I'm just saying. We went from Letitia Wright going to get kicked off the show to somehow or another Ramona going to come from Power and all of a sudden going to be in a comic book. That's all I'm saying, man. What the Larry? Come on, man. Golly. Oh my God. Look. So, fellas, that's not the only news that we got out of Marvel this week. And in that article, they talked about some of the other news. This was the last time we seen Captain America, looking like a cross between Ronald Reagan and Clint Eastwood. And, and so they're saying he's going to come back, and this is what they had to say. Chris Evans has reportedly closed on reaching a deal with Disney to reprise his role as Captain America in one or two upcoming MCU projects from Marvel Studios. Okay. Neither of the projects is expected to be Captain America's own movie. Instead, Steve Rogers will likely have a supporting role in another character's movie or Disney Plus show. The last time we saw Captain America, he was an old man who had passed his shield to Falcon, which was this right here. But fellas, let's just break this. Let's just keep this thing 100% real. The most iconic thing we've seen from Captain America in all those 10 years was this right here. When he picked up Mjolnir and he went to work on Thanos, that was some of the most iconic TV in history. And so T-Streams, I come back to you. How do you feel about Clint Eastwood Reagan coming back to the MCU?
Well, I'm gonna tell you what, man. I really wish they would stop putting themselves in these positions where they now have to start doing prequels and revamping or pulling back the timeline in order to bring memorable characters back and stuff like that. Because now, in order to pull this off, they got to pull some old hokey poke. They got to either have to go get the time stone again and go back and get Steve Rogers when he was able, or they either have to throw him in a movie that's a prequel to something else that has already happened, or like they just did with the whole Michael B thing. It might have to start tampering with multiverse selections and stuff like that. I don't know. I wish they would have just left it alone. I liked it. I liked old Cap. He was pretty cool. I probably prefer for them to stick with him being a supporting role in somebody else's film instead of going to TV. I think if they start tampering with him on TV, I'm really not a big fan of Marvel TV shows. But hey, that's Cap. And that was iconic.
Man, gracious
man, I remember when that was in the theater, I was screaming, "He's worthy! He's worthy!"
My God, man! Look, bro, y'all think I'll be lying when I'm talking about geeks be having orgasms. When that happened in the theater, it was so much mist in the air. Them geeks was having orgasms left and right. Man, everybody stood up and started clapping when he got Mjolnir and went to work on Thanos. So, Larry, how do you feel about them augmenting the multiverse? But T-Streams is taking a hard stance. He don't want the multiverse. He don't want to see none of that. Me personally, being a fan of the cartoons and have read some of the comics, I'm fine if they do the multiverse in a manner where they can contain it. T-Streams is arguing that he feels like they're about to just open up the well and there's not going to be no containment. So, Larry, how are you feeling about them bringing back Cap and Killmonger for that matter, but in particularly, how you feel them bringing about Cap?
I mean, obviously, I want to see Killmonger back. But Cap, I'm okay with it. I feel like if they were going to bring back anybody in Black Panther 2, they probably should have brought back Bucky, because I just feel like there's more of a connection with Bucky and Wakanda than there is with Cap. I mean, I know he got his.
This ain't going to be for Black Panther 2. This is separate.
It's going to be separate. Okay.
Yeah, they're speculating he's going to come back and be in 2 movies, or he's going to be in a Disney Plus show. And me and T-Streams are in agreement. We much rather see him in the MCU versus being on a TV show, unless it's just a cameo in the TV show and they predominantly use him in the MCU. But this is not for Black Panther. I'm okay with them bringing him back. I mean, the whole multiverse thing allows you to do all kinds of stuff that you couldn't do with the traditional timeline. Right. I wouldn't mind seeing him do a cameo in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like, I wouldn't mind him showing up and telling Falcon, "Hey, I need my shield back for a minute." Leave it to Larry in the times we're going through right now for a white guy to come to a black dude and try to take something back. Leave it to Larry to point that out.
Let me get that back for a minute, man.
Man, let me hold that.
Just straight Native American giving. That's what Larry over there talking about.
Let me hold something. Cap's gonna show up to him. "Hey, Falcon, let me hold something."
Yeah, but fellas, that's not the only MCU news that's going on. We got this right here, which I know T-Streams is not going to like. This is Matt Murdock that played in the Netflix TV show of Daredevil. And they're bringing him into Spider-Man 3. Now, we don't know if they're going to let him be Daredevil or if he's just going to be Murdock. But he's going to be in Spider-Man 3. And we already know that James Garfield and the other Spider-Man from the old shows are also going to be in this same movie, because they're obviously going full bore with the multiverse. Larry, how do you feel about old boy from the Netflix series playing Daredevil being in the MCU Spider-Man 3?
I'm all right with it. I'm okay with it. I mean, I'm all right with it. I'm not feeling bad about that. as far as Spider-Man, I'm really looking forward to seeing a Miles Morales, you know, in here. I want to see them bring Miles Morales in. And in fact, I know this might sound a little off to some people, but I think Michael Rainey's actually young enough. He could pull it off. I think he could do really well in that role.
I can see that.
Tariq?
Yeah, I can see that.
I think he could play a good Spider-Man. He could be a good Miles Morales.
But you know what, Larry? He's probably going to want too much money right now.
I don't know though, because I think for some people, I think some actors would want a lot of money. He probably would want more if he was, he's going to want more now being a named actor. But you're also talking about making a Marvel movie, and this is one of those franchises that could potentially take him out of the TV genre and make him a bona fide movie star. And because there's a lot of black people that watch Power, but not everybody knows Power. There's a lot of other black folks that don't watch Power that are older or younger. It's very much into a specific demographic between people that are probably like 20 something to 50, and then you have white people that probably just don't watch it. So you take him out of that and you put him in there as Spider-Man, as Miles Morales, and you introduce him into to an entirely new set of demographics, and he could become a bona fide movie star.
I mean, hell, he run like he could go be the next Flash. The way his ass be running on Power, every time I turn around, he running just. Yeah. I mean, but I wouldn't mind seeing him being Miles Morales.
That would be cool, and no doubt Marvel would probably even on the low ball end, Marvel would probably still pay him a lot more than what Stars is over there for Power.
Yeah. Well, for those of you that don't know, T Streams on the low is auditioning for Black Mafia Family. So if you happen to see Michael Rainey somewhere in those auditions, T Stream, put a bug in his ear that we said right here on this channel. He should go be the next Miles Morales. And
man, whoever his agent is, whoever you are, CAA or something, whoever his agent is at CAA, you need to go ahead. And I don't even know if he is. I'm just assuming he's big enough. He's with CAA. You need to go and talk to whoever over at Disney and Marvel and get him set up.
And if I'm not mistaken, he already has a relationship with Disney because he's done some movies with Disney when he was young. He already has a relationship with Disney. So,
right.
I mean, literally, that could happen. So I will keep you posted on that. Speaking of movies and T-Streams, the Hall of Famer T-Streams about to be doing Black Mafia Family. Hopefully, fellas, y'all know there is a whole lot of movies and good TV shows that have come out just in the last week and be coming out this weekend. My folk Buzz just got finished watching Outside the Wire, and that's the one with Anthony Mackie and the main character from Snowfall. The main character from Snowfall.
Yeah.
Are you fellas gonna watch that this weekend if you can fit it into your schedule? And Buzz, how did you like it? Why we got you in here, Buzz? Tell us, was it good or bad? But first, T-Streams, are you gonna try to get that in?
I watched it.
You watched it already? Okay. Well, T-Streams, well, give us the scoop, my brother. Give us the scoop.
All right, man. Look, so for those of you who hadn't checked it out, man, it's pretty. It is very, very. It's entertaining. I'm gonna tell you that. The effects and stuff. They really got. I'm trying to think of I'm trying to think of old boy's name, Falcon. I guess I'll just call him Falcon.
Anthony Mackie.
All right, Ant. My bad, dude. So,
Ant. Call him Ant.
Yeah.
Larry, that's when you know you in Hollywood, when you get to call people by their nickname like that. T-Stream's already done a ride. He calling people by their nickname.
Yeah, man. It's actually good, man. It's full of action. It's got a couple of plot twists in there for you. I would definitely watch it if I hadn't seen it. It's almost like superhero-esque, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And for those of you who used to seeing Franklin in his role as the boss on Snowfall, he's like really like he's really like you know, when you want to say, man, dude, he's a whole ass dude. You know, he like real soft at first, coming from the Marines, and you just be like, no, that's not you, Franklin. And, but it's a good watch, and it actually has a moral undertone for you to actually look back and reflect upon, especially when it comes to decision making. For example, right at the beginning, there was a drone strike. Franklin, he was a drone operator, and the Marines were like set down, and they had some cannons and stuff come in, and he saw that it was a threat, and he's like, hey, I need to get rid of this. And the ground crew's like, no, we got men on the ground, and and he's like, man, we can sacrifice those 2 and save the 38. And he's like, no, and he went ahead and did it anyway. So there's a moral undertone, and he had to live with that decision throughout the movie, and it kept coming back to him according to the decisions that he made, throughout the movie. Am I doing this for the greater good, or is this the lesser of the two evils? However you choose to look at it. So, but if you have not seen it, you can catch it on Netflix right now. It's pretty good. It's a really nice movie, and it was definitely worth the wait.
Okay, Larry, you gonna try to check it out this weekend?
Yeah, man, I'm probably gonna watch it when we get done here.
Oh, wait a minute. So as I'm going down this list, not only do you have that, but guess what dropped on Amazon tonight? One Night in Miami. Sam Cooke. You watched it, Larry? You don't watch? Well, tell us, man. Damn, man. God, for the love of having children, I can't do nothing. Larry, tell us about it, man. What did you think?
I will say this: if this is Regina King's if this is her directorial debut, woo, I feel sorry for the rest of the directors in Hollywood. Boy, they're gonna have some problems with her because this thing was fire.
What?
I mean, it's very much. I mean, the movie as he said, it's very much felt like a play. And so I went and looked it up, and it actually was a play first. It was they adapted it from a play. It very much feels like a play in a lot of ways, but it's so good. I mean, I don't want to say much about it and ruin anything for everybody, but I mean, obviously you've seen from the trailers, you have Malcolm X, Sam Cooke, Jim Brown, and Muhammad Ali all sort of hanging out together on this night, and it is a fantastic movie. It really is. It is just I mean, they talk about so many pertinent issues that we would hope that having this conversation back in the 60s we would no longer need to have, but there's so much that they're talking about that's still relevant today. And there's a scene, it's one of the opening scenes where they have with Jim Brown that is just, it really sets the tone for what era we're in and how people think. And it also sets the tone for sort of how he became who he is. But at the same time, it's heartbreaking. And yeah, I'll let you guys see that scene. But
my goodness,
it is a fantastic movie.
Wow. And my child's grandmother's here. She started watching it, so I caught the first 5 minutes, and I caught that scene you're talking about. Jim Brown is on the porch with somebody. I caught that part, then I had to go. But it looks like the movie is legendary. Shouts out to Regina King. If you're watching, happy birthday. You don't look a day past 32, even though you're 50. And I am so excited for what you're going to be doing in the future. Make sure you go over there and save the DC universe, because she is a big comic fan and has said she would rather work with DC because they're lagging instead of going to Marvel. So if you make that happen, you've already pretty much played a role as a DC character that they brought in. I want to see you go make that happen for DC.
I mean, we've seen the problem is if she was a little bit younger, and she doesn't look old because she's got that good black that don't crack. But if she was a little bit older, I mean a little bit younger, excuse me, I would say that she should be Nubia. But
yeah, I think she could pull it off. But Larry, she could probably pull it off now because Nubia is older than Diana.
Yeah.
And
maybe she should do it. I would love to see her in that role. If they could work it in, I would love to see her in that role. I think it would be fantastic.
Yeah, everybody know me and Larry, we do share Regina King because she can carry both of us. We share Regina King,
you know,
and and my wife loves Regina King too. So hey, we about 227 life. So keep it coming. And then, fellas, they announced that I don't know if either one of y'all watched Queen Sugar, but they're coming back out on February the 15th. Do you guys watch Queen Sugar?
I haven't watched it.
I watched the first season of it, man. I have to be honest, unless it changed, that show was such a sad, sap, depressing show. I was like, I couldn't do it anymore. I was like, man, the world is hard enough. I don't need a TV show to bring me down like that. It was just so sad and depressing.
And they do set the show up where it seems like the cinematography moves in slow motion. They play a lot of slow, kind of monotone, slow tone music. But they did start tackling some real major issues. My wife likes the show. Maybe me and her try to do some reviews on that when to get on schedule. But I just want to let the people know that is coming out February the 15th. Get your hands ready.
Check out Queen Sono if you haven't seen it on Netflix.
Yeah.
Queen Sono it's a South African TV series about a woman who's like she works as like a security agent, as like a FBI equivalent agent in South Africa, and she's the daughter of a renowned civil rights activist who was murdered. Actually, why she was murdered right in front of her mom. The mom was murdered right in front of her, and so, anyway, she's all kinds of things. She is an agent. She's sort of a thief. She's a recluse, and it's a really fun show to watch.
Yep.
So
right on. I'm right in alignment with my brother on that. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end on getting you guys those life gains in your finances and in the stock market. So Larry turned me on to this one. I had forgot about it. We talked about all these IPOs coming this year. And so Larry turned me on to an IPO that's coming out that is so popular with young people. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to miss this train ride. It is called Roblox.
Yeah, I think, is it Roblox, whatever it is.
Roblox.
Video game, ain't it?
Yeah. And this is what they're doing. So now, Larry, they said next week, but I read something that said they're pushing it back to February. And if they do, I ain't mad at them.
Right.
Because that'll give me time to get some more things moved around, get as many shares as possible. But what's important about this stock, ladies and gentlemen, is let me just read you some of the things that are going on. Well, first and foremost, instead of it being an IPO, it's going to be a direct listing, meaning that no banks, no private investors are going to get that cheap price that they'll normally say $45. Then the minute the stock goes online, it jumps to $90. There's not going to be none of that. A direct listing is the price it comes online. Everybody gets it at that price. And let me tell you why this particular stock is going to be so important. Take a look at these numbers. Companies based in San Mateo, California. It's seen its revenue and user base grow as the coronavirus pandemic kept students home and in search of entertainment. The company was valued at $4 billion in a $150 million fundraise round in February that was led by venture capitalist firm Andreessen Horowitz and also Altimeter. And I believe in Altimeter because I've supported several of this guy's companies before. Roblox hosts millions of games that are built by its users. Keep that in mind. That's important, ladies and gentlemen, because if you got millions of people, you have millions of different customizations, millions of different vantage points of people creating something that's totally different. You never get bored. Who then get a share of the related revenue. So when you make a game and you sell it, you get some of the money. Almost like YouTube, when you create content, you get some of the money. It says that 2/3 of all U.S. children 9 to 12 years old use the platform. Ladies and gentlemen, let that sink in. 2/3 of anything in the United States population, and you're rich. 2/3 of children 9 to 12 are using it, and they're building upon that platform for kids that are going into teen agency to keep them in house.
Yeah.
This thing is YouTube for video games, and when it drops, you must invest in this. This is going to be like Google all over again. Me and Larry are already making plans to get in. T-Streams, what do you think? Roblox.
Yeah, that Roblox is something serious for real. You guys know I own and operate a mobile video game bus, and when when they pull up to some of these kids' houses, the first they don't want to see Mortal Kombat, they don't want to see Fortnite. Well, some of them want to see Fortnite. They run straight from the Roblox, and what's neat about this is that it is actually a fundamental game. It's actually fundamental for kids as well, but they love it. And that article is right. 2/3 of kids from 9 is serious.
Look at the bottom, T-Stream. The company had 31 million daily active users during the first 9 months of the year. I mean, oh my, that's how do you? I mean, can you think of the servers that's being burnt up from that? Oh my God! I mean, that's unbelievable, Larry. Yeah. How many shares are you buying? My God, I might have to unload a whole lot. I might have to give up some of my Tesla to get some of this.
Yeah, I'm going to see. I mean, it's going to depend on what it comes online at. I plan on at least getting 100 shares, but if it comes online at like $20 or something, I might grab like 200, 300 if I can.
Hey, man, you got to get that, man. That's a good one to jump on. And
impressive numbers.
T-Streams, bruh. A lot of people, when Google came out as a stock, I remember when it first dropped, Google was like $34.
Yeah.
And it didn't take them that long to get to $1,000. It really didn't. And look at it now. It's almost $2,000. And I'm talking, it's only been 10 years since I last remember it being around $90. I mean, that's how you retire. Literally. Yeah. You keep buying it and buying it and buying it as it's going up. And Larry and us know you can option 100 shares as long as you do it smartly so that you don't get caught. You could just be making money hand over fist off this thing as it rides up. So I did an option on Tesla this week, but I put my option so far out the money, I don't have to worry about getting caught with Tesla. And so Larry also made another, ladies and gentlemen, Larry been on this joint this year so far. Larry trying to get that money. Larry hit me up and he made another suggestion to Petco. Petco went IPO this week, and let me pull it up for you guys. And Larry called me, and I had to jump in with it. I'm getting this too. So it went IPO at a price of like $49 or something to that crazy effect. And then it just dropped out the bag. It started, look at this. It started up way up here, and then it just fell the hell off the map.
Yeah.
I was telling Larry, when you see this type of thing happen, this is prime buying opportunity because the pet industry is not getting smaller. I always tease black people and say white folks like pets more than they like us. It's going to continue to grow. So I would highly recommend you guys take a look at Petco. And if you don't want to buy none, place a long buy call option on Petco. Larry T-Streams, what do you think about pet wellness and Petco growing? I'll give it to you first, T-Streams.
Hey, I'll tell you what. Well, there's always going to be little bow wows running around.
You got that right.
Yeah. I would imagine that why is down. If you can afford it, to go ahead and at least snag a few. Mm-hmm. I'm not too familiar with the history of the company. And you say they just went they just went IPO today, right?
No, they
No,
went
it was
Thursday.
like Wednesday or Tuesday.
Thursday.
Wednesday.
Went Thursday. It was
Thursday.
Thursday because Affirm went IPO Wednesday and went through the roof. I mean, my God,
Yeah.
it just went through the roof. And
So-
Petco came Thursday.
Was anything because I remember I saw in our little private chat where you had said that they had tanked. Was anything released concerning them, or was that just one of those anomalies?
No, what happened was a lot of investors pulled their money, and I keep telling y'all the Robinhood Group is driving. The Robinhood Group is doing a whole lot of driving the bandwagon for stocks. The Robinhood people did not buy the majority of the shares in Petco the way they've been buying all these tech IPOs. So their numbers was depressed. I think the whole entire IPO, Robinhood only got 3%. When normally Robinhood has been gobbling up 35% of shares of stock that come IPO. So your Robinhood people wasn't interested in that one. And then when you get that with the private investors who pull their money out quickly, you have a stock that goes backwards. The numbers are fine, T-Street. I checked the numbers. It's nothing wrong. They've been growing the last 5 years. They've got great income. Their debt ain't bad. They've got a lot of assets because they still have buildings, but they're also spending a lot of money, T-Streams, to advance their online platform, which what I was telling Larry, if I don't see that in this generation from a big box company, I don't usually mess with you because you're not forward thinking. You have to be, if you're a box company, you also got to have an online presence too.
Right.
And Petco is fortifying that online presence.
Right.
Gotcha.
Larry, are you going to jump in on that Petco?
Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna. I was sort of holding off until next week because I want to see if Roblox is gonna go on, if their listing is gonna go live, and I want to sort of hold on to my funds for that. But when I can start, I mean, if I can, I don't think they're allowing you to buy options on Petco yet, are they?
No, you can't. It usually take about a month before you can buy options on it. So I mean, Larry, it's a great deal right now, but we've been following these IPOs all since last March, and I took notes on all of them. And most of them, if they don't come out growing really, really fast, like the first time they drop it, it takes about 3 months before it starts to go up. Yeah. And I see this company being the same thing. So I'm not in a rush to buy it. Not really. I'll watch it, but that Roblox is number one on the list for me.
Yeah. See, I feel like, I mean, that's where I'm kind of at. I want the Roblox and I kind of want some Petco, but I feel like, honestly, I feel like if I get Petco, I should go ahead and just pick it up now because I feel like by the time it starts to move, it's going to move real quick. I feel like someone like ARK or something's going to be like, okay, well, let's look. It's 2 months down the line. The numbers look decent and it's still down at $28, $30. Let's go ahead and just buy 1 million shares. And then all of a sudden, the price is going to skyrocket because everybody else is going to jump on board at that point. And then it's going to be too late for me. So part of me feels like I should probably jump in now and just sit and hold it. But
if you do get some, Larry, how much you thinking about getting? I know you ain't trying to shoot for 100 on that one, is you? Maybe 20 shares?
I don't know, man. I was actually thinking maybe 100, but
Larry.
I mean, because it's at $28, $29 right now. So I was thinking, I mean, it's doable. If it gets up to where it's like, once they get to like, $50, $60, $70, I'm not going to want to buy 100 shares. So
are you still going to use this as a swing? You just want to get a cash grab and then you're going to get out?
Well, I don't know. That's the thing. If I buy it now, probably not, because it's going to be, because I know I'm going to have to wait on it. So if I get it now, I'll probably get it. And the reason why I was thinking if I get 100 shares, then I can just option it throughout the months until it starts to grow. And just, once the options kick in, I mean, it may take a month, but if I get it, then I can just start optioning it and just make a little bit of money off of it every week until,
it gets to where you want it to be at.
Until it gets to where I want to go. But I don't know, because I still want some Affirm. I think Affirm's going to be like Shopify.
What?
I think a firm's going to grow. I think it's going to be one of those things that's going to grow, and it's going to end up being around, $1,000 a share or something like that.
So out of all the stocks, and I've talked about some of them, and they all have done well. There has been one stock that I reported to you guys that hasn't taken the growth I thought it would take this quickly. But I always said with this stock, it's a 5-year play. So I've always said that. No, Big Commerce. Big Commerce is a commercial version of Shopify. Yeah. Where Shopify, makes shops for us and anybody. Big Commerce caters to like Walmart, Kmart, and does their online stuff. The stock came online at like $75. At one point in time, it got to $125. And then after that, it just hangs around $65, $70. It just hovers around that, which is fine. That's fine if you're buying it for long term. And, at first I was long term on it, but now, man, I'm starting to sour on this stock because I at least want to see at least 2-3% growth pattern weekly, unless something causes you to have to go down.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong in their books. Why they should just be stuck at $65 is just momentum is just not with them right now. And the thing I don't want to do is mess up with them the way I messed up with CrowdStrike. Y'all know I'm still crying about the CrowdStrike. I'm still crying. And I made money on that one, and I'm still crying. $235. God,
yeah.
Be more careful. But fellas, that's all I got for my peoples out there. I'll let you guys get the last word. T-Streams, go in with the last word. Let the people know what you up to this weekend and what they should be doing.
Oh man, actually this weekend I have to go take me some what they call headshots.
Okay,
all right, there we go.
Okay, my brother.
Right. I gotta take me some headshots. I'm actually registered as I'm registered on Backstage as an official actor, though I hadn't done anything since high school. Okay. So these are just some of the requirements that they have for me. So I have to go take all these different headshots and start building my portfolio. I actually been researching schools here. I'm going to try to take some classes. A part of my I saw somebody ask what was BMF, and that's a Black Mafia family. It's a 8 episode miniseries that 50 and Stars is putting out, and they're working on. And so I auditioned for the role of Bishop Wallace, who was a street con turned man of the cloth. Whether or not I get the role, I don't know. All right, but I have been like this on a regular. And so one of the things that I'll use this as you try to use this as a springboard. So one of the things I have been in the drafting room doing is like, okay, so if I make it, it's cool. If I don't, that's even cool too, because I'm going to actually do a segment of my YouTube channel to a portion or a special that I call "I Want to Be on TV," and it's going to document some of my or vlog some of my auditions, some of my classes, and when I go on shoots and stuff like that. And so and this honestly this is just like some rabbit out the hat type bucket list thing. I used to, I took drama and did a lot of that, stage play stuff when I was in school, much younger, 25, 30 years ago, somewhere around there. And so this is just something like a bucket list that I'm trying to do, and just to see if I can get myself on the small screen or big screen. And so it's just something to do when you want something to do. All right. So outside of that, I'm I'm going to check out that Regina King film.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm going to check out that Regina King film. So I'm really just chilling, man. I'm in for the weekend. And so, trying to play it safe. That's about it, really.
Okay. Hey, nothing wrong with that, my brother. Peace be with you. You got our support any way we can help. We your brothers. We got your back. Whatever you need, just hit us up. Living Legend, what's good with you this weekend? By the way, everybody's YouTube channel is in the video description and on the featured list of my channels. But Living Legend, what you got going on this weekend?
Man, probably just it depends on what the weather's like. It's raining today, so if it rains tomorrow, I probably won't do much of anything, to be honest with you. If the weather's good, I think I might go ride my bike. I think me and my wife might go ride our bikes. I got my bike fixed today. I finally put it together. I had a box in here of an electric bike that I've been sitting on for a while, and I finally put it together. I need to do a review of it, and then I took it out for its inaugural ride, and the chain popped off, and I was like, okay. So I put the chain back on and turned the cranks to get it going, and all of a sudden it was like pling, 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 as the derailleur started coming apart. So I was like, I was a couple miles away from home, so I had to nurse it home, and I took it back over to the bike shop today, and the guy put everything back together and made some adjustments, and he said it should be okay, but if not, he said I might have to get a new derailleur, because he said the derailleur that's on there is cheap as hell. So, but if the weather's good, then I'll probably go ride my bike. If not, I'll probably be in the house and do some reviews and some editing. I bought a new knife today, so I'll probably review that later on tonight. And yeah.
Oh, wow. My man got a knife. Hey, keep him away from your pumpkins, ladies and gentlemen. Man done got a new knife. He can keep him away from pumpkins and turkeys. He'll carve them up.
I'm in DC, man. I got to keep a little something on me to make sure that those maggots don't run up on me.
That's right, man. Be safe up there, bro. Be safe up there.
You need something?
You can't carry it. Like in Virginia, you can carry, but you can't carry in DC. If you have a gun in DC, it's a felony.
Woo. Well, all them people that had guns in their car, Larry, that they done caught from the rally, from that riot rally. Well, they need to be persecuted to the hill. Oh, Tressa C wants to know Saints or Bucks. Well, Tressa, how can I put this? I used to like Drew Brees until this bull jive with him this summer talking about he still couldn't understand what the people was marching for and protesting. And it took him like 5 days to recant, and all of a sudden he's seen the light. I don't really believe that he's seen the light, but he's just playing the part. But I hate Tom Brady more than that.
Wait, before you go on, Lamont, did you see the controversy that with Drew Brees, they had to take his photo off of their Instagram page because they posted the day after the attempted coup when they shot that woman. They took a photo of him at practice. I think it was at practice or pregame or something, wearing a T-shirt that had the hashtag "Say Her Name." And people were like, "No, he did not try and just co-opt the "Say Her Name" for this treasonous bitch."
Yeah. So maybe, like I said, Larry,
they took it off. They put it on there and then they took it off when people were calling in saying, "What the hell is this?" And I guess there were some people saying that he was trying to co-opt it, and they were like, "You know what? We're not sure that he's not, so we're just gonna pull it down." So Trust C, I don't know. I don't care who wins. I don't care for either quarterback. I normally, under normal circumstances, I would be rooting for the Saints. That's why. Yeah. Now, when I look at this game and I take my bias out of the analysis, the Saints, for whatever reason, have been inept the last 4 seasons when they get to this point. Why would it change now all of a sudden? Tom Brady is getting himself together with Antonio Brown and his new weapons. He's got Gronk. The defense in Tampa Bay is picking up. Why would the Saints not drop this like a bad habit this time? So my analysis of football says that Tampa Bay is going to win, but deep in my heart, I'd rather the Saints win, but I'm still mad with Drew Brees, man. Come on, Drew. Damn it, Drew. Yeah. So
ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of entertaining stuff you can do from the comfort of your home this weekend. Take advantage of all of it. I will be working out. I'm going to try to get under this 505 pounds in my house this weekend, squat that. And I'm getting back on the road to Cuts for the Slut. So we'll see what happens.
Wear that belt, bro.
I'll probably put the belt on for 505. You know, I like to make sure that my stabilizer muscles can handle most of this stuff. But since I ain't done 505 since before Rona, I just been kind of hanging around 400. I'm putting the belt on tomorrow. I'm definitely putting the belt on tomorrow. It ain't gonna be no playing around tomorrow. I'm putting the belt on tomorrow. So, ladies and gentlemen, until that next Sexy as Hell video, we'll see you on Monday.
Peace.